Thank y'all so much for clicking this video. If you are new, welcome, get comfortable. For all of my OG supporters, thank y'all for stopping through. So if you noticed, this video is called Manifestation or Manifesting My Dream Home. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but I do wanna clear something up. So I do believe in manifestation through prayer. I want to get that straight. I think that there is like a new wave. Well, not really a new wave. It's kind of old. But there's a blurred line that can be crossed when you talk about manifestation and leaving God out. So I know that manifesting is in the Bible, but I do just want to make sure I make it clear that when I talk about manifestation, you know, I'm talking about through prayer. By all means, believe what you want to believe, and I'm just happy you believing in something. But you know, that's just me, and that's how I like to go about it. So, if you have watched the Empty House vlog or the Empty House tour, you know, I talk about the acoustics a little bit in this house, and it's empty, okay? Because I'm just in a spot to where I don't know what I want to keep from the old house. So like the little stuff, I'm moving in. The big stuff, like the bed, I'm still not quite sure if I want to keep that bed. So, you know, we have it over there, like the couch and things like that. I'm just trying to sell and give away as much as possible. So this was the best spot I could find in the house, even though it's not that great, to kind of help with the acoustics. I'll try to talk softer, and maybe that will help. I don't know. Also, y'all are gonna see me like look over here every now and then at the screen to just make sure like the image doesn't get washed out. But so yeah, let's jump right into the video. I don't want this to be a long video because I hate doing long videos, but also I gotta go pick up the boys, so this can't be a long video, but I'll try to leave nothing out. All right, so from the beginning, Deron and I started looking for a house like in April, and I remember telling him that I think we're gonna come across our home before our lease is up, you know. And I told him like let's be prepared to break a lease because I think we may find our dream home. You know, and he was like, well, let's hope not before the lease is up. But I just had this feeling. So we were looking, you know, keep looking at them houses on Zillow, sis. Keep looking. I don't care if you're not moving no time soon. Look every day and stalk the house that you want. So that's what I was doing. Just every day, I was just looking at the houses on Zillow, just, you know, and all the other different websites you can look at houses. And it was late one night, and I ended up seeing this house posted like 2 hours after it got posted. Keep in mind, this house is way past our budget, okay? This is where the manifesting comes in. But when I saw it online, I was like, I have to go see this house in person. And so the next morning, I got up. Right after I dropped the boys off, I said, I need to see this house. And so I got up and went to go look at the house, and it was just even more beautiful in person. I parked out in front of it, and y'all, I kid you not, I said a prayer in front of the house. This house that hadn't even been posted for a day. But I sat in my car and I just prayed, God, please let this be our house. I don't know how, I don't know what we need to do or how you're gonna make it possible, but God, please let this be our house. And I drove away. I drove away, and I just kind of let it go from there. So I talked to Deron about the house, and we had even talked to our financial advisor. Deron went and spoke to his mentor, who is also his boss, but he kind of advises him on certain moves to make, and he really just, you know, encouraged us to go for it, you know, and kind of opened our eyes to see like, no, you can get that house, you know? And I think we were thinking too small. We were thinking in such a small limit because you never think that certain things are in your reach, and so you don't even try. And so he kind of opened up our eyes to see like this is totally in y'all's reach. And so, you know, we left that conversation, and we were like, okay, you know, we're gonna see if we can get it. And I remember contacting the realtor, y'all. I don't know why, but this is the same day that Beyonce first line came out. And so while everybody was sitting up here waiting on the sale to take place, I was sitting up here waiting on the realtor to call me back because I needed to know more information and if this house was still available. So I called her, she finally called me back, and she lets me know that the house is under contract. Heart was broke, okay? My heart was crushed. And so everybody was like crushed about Beyonce line being sold out. I'm like, look, I just lost my dream house, okay? Y'all, even after I found out the house was under contract, I drove here like the next day because I just wanted to see like, did somebody move in already? Like as if the contract was gonna take place that fast. But I remember like still driving up to this house like, dang, it's just saying a prayer like, I hope we find something like it at least. So we ended up working with a realtor, and she, you know, was asking, you know, what are you guys interested in? And I gave her the picture of this house. I'm like, well, I kind of fell in love with this house, so if you could just find me something like it, that would be great. And she let me know that the house was no longer under contract. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, you mean this house? This house is no longer under contract. And she's like, yeah, you know, go see it. And so there was going to be an open house. Y'all, I was nervous about this open house as if I was going on a first date. Like, this house was so magnetic to me. I don't know what it was, but so yeah, we did the open house, and I was nervous, and I just saw all of these people, y'all. It was buku people at this open house. It was crazy. And it was just people like just all over, and I was just very like poised and kind of steaming a little bit because I'm like, these strangers are in my house. Get out my house. And so I'm like just walking around, and so I let the realtor know, I'm like, we're very interested in this house, and you know, we're gonna try to start the process. So we start the process with a loan officer, and he lets us know, because Deron is a 1099 employee, that getting this house was not going to be easy. I think for a lot of you guys who are self-employed, you probably know pretty much when you're a 1099 employee and you're trying to get something like, you know, as big as a house or big loan, you have to prove yourself. And then especially in a time like COVID, it was a lot. We had to really prove that we were a stable income, I guess you could say. So the first loan officer, he really crushed my spirit when he was like, yeah, this is not gonna be easy. No. I still did not give up. I kept praying. And so we started working with a new realtor and a new loan officer. And that loan officer in particular just kind of made it seem like, yeah, this is not gonna be a problem. So I was like, all right, great. So in the process of that, you know, of us still just like, all right, well, let's see, you know, if we want to put in an offer. Y'all, I was on the phone with my realtor, just telling her how much I love the house, and we're kind of working out strategies, you know, of what type of loan and things like that. Cause the bank they nosy, but it was all good. It's like, look, we check out, we just waiting on y'all. And so, in the process of that, y'all, the price drops. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And so it just seemed like everything with this house, like every barrier, just kept easily moving out the way. I don't think I've ever heard God or seen God move so swiftly in my life the way he moved with this house. It was eerie. Y'all, it was like really eerie, because it's like, God, I know you a way maker, but the way you like moving stuff. And so, yeah, like the price dropped. Nobody asked, but the price dropped by $10,000 to be exact. Even my realtor was like, let's go, let's do this. So we put in our offer, and of course, y'all know it was multiple offers on this house. I figured there would be a lot more, probably people asking for the asking price and people wanting to pay cash. You know, we asked for what we could offer. And so I just prayed over it, just prayed over that, you know, just let it go from there. And they accepted our offer. I was like, And so, yeah, like they accepted our offer. And so it's like, okay, wow, now what? The first thing first, we had to get an inspection. The inspection was nerve-wracking to me because we've had other houses in the past that we've liked, and you know, before you can even get a loan on a home, you have to get an inspector. The particular inspector that we've used in the past, he's like the state toughest home inspector you could get. And I knew that I didn't want to use him, but I knew we needed to use him because I did not want him to point out any flaws in this house, all right? But he did his job. He came in and he let us know, like, you know, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this is not up to code. You know, he did his job, and Duran was immediately discouraged, and I was like heartbroken. I was heartbroken because I'm like, well, you know, surely we can get something done. And usually our experience in the past with an inspector on a home has been, you know, usually that seller or builder, they don't want to fix it. You know, they'll say you're taking it as is or whatever the case may be. And y'all, this beautiful, wonderful builder said, let me fix it. And she fixed everything, y'all. She fixed everything to where the house is now flawless. And when I tell you, like, even my realtor was like shocked. She's like, who is this person? I've never seen this in my life. And I was just, my heart was like full. And so not only did she fix it, but she acted fast on fixing it. I'm not gonna cry. So they started the process like within days, you know, working on the stuff that was on the report. Like I say, it just seemed like every barrier that came our way, God like removed it. And it wasn't in a way of like, God is trying to tell us we don't need to get this house. It was in a way of, no. All right, go get the house. Because nothing was impossible. So she gets the report and she starts fixing everything that the inspector said needed to be fixed. And at this point now, while all of that is going on, we're in the underwriting process. And if you never bought a home before, it's just pretty much, you know, waiting on the bank to say, okay, here's the money to go get the house, pay us back. But they prolonged this situation so much. First thing, they asked us for a laundry list of things. Duran was discouraged by this list. I'm like, we're just gonna do it one by one. Give it to them. They want this, we got it. we got the information. It's just about setting time to do it. And we gave whatever they asked for within a day or two. Even like the hardest things, a lot of stuff seemed intimidating, but it was like, we're adults. This is not intimidating. We got this. Like one of the things was we needed to get a CPA to like, you know, approve some things with Duran's business. And it was like, oh my gosh, where in the world a CPA? Like that costs money. And y'all, Duran's uncle is a licensed CPA. And he was like, whatever y'all need, I'm here. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. So whenever, you know, we needed something, he did it. Best believe we made sure to treat him after this whole thing. So the first closing day came up. The bank still wasn't done with the process, and we missed the day. I was crushed again because I'm like, at this point, you know, the seller can walk away and they have every right to walk away. Like, we didn't make the closing date. She could have walked away and took our earnest money. And we would have been at a loss. And so I prepared myself to that, but I kept praying. You know, I just kept praying about it. And y'all, she extended the closing date. At this point, I'm like, God, what are you doing? Like, is this our house? Is this our house? Even Duran couldn't deny the connection, because throughout this whole process, he was trying to act tough about not caring about the house, but every now and then I would call him, you know, just be like, hey, what you doing? And he'll be like, oh, just driving by the house. I'm like, see, you want it too. We would like be calling each other, and we would just be sitting in front of the house, just praying and hoping and wishing. So we stopped the house up until the closing date. But so yeah, she extended the closing date, and I'm just like, okay, you know, we almost to the finish line. And we were blowing up the loan officer during this process. Where are we? Where are we? You know, making sure that everything went smoothly. And finally, we make it to the close date. And guys, the rest y'all can monitor up until here. But even then, with the close date, which, you know, it's a whole video for that, but even then with the closing date that we finally reached, y'all, they didn't have our documents. They didn't have our documents. So it was like, we're this close. We are this close. And then after we closed, we couldn't get the keys. They were like, well, we gotta wait on. It was like another process. And we had to go to the title companies, the lady who did our stuff. We had to go to her house. But she was like, I'm gonna take the keys home while they finish up some stuff, and y'all just come to my house tomorrow. I'm like, what? I'm like, why is this so hard? But it was like, sure, whatever. She was like, oh, but the house is y'all. The house is y'all. The process is done, but y'all can't get the keys. So we had to wake up the next morning to finally get the keys to our home. And then the rest is history. The rest y'all are following. Yeah, that is this in a nutshell. And I just, throughout that whole process, y'all, I just kept picturing myself in the home. I pictured and like thought about what it would feel like. I thought and pictured myself walking, cooking in the kitchen, sitting on the couch. Like, I mentally placed myself in this home. And that's just an extension of how far I put my faith in that prayer. And I think that that's something that you have to do when you're doing the whole manifesting. Now, keep in mind, God is just gonna go in the way that He knows is best for you. So this is not saying that, you know, God is a genie and he's just gonna make your every wish come true. No, but this was something that I felt like we connected on, and I met God's energy with it, and I never let it go. I never let it go from that point, and I just kept faith in it. With that, in this process, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about some other things that I was going through, and I have more videos coming about that. Thank y'all so much for stopping to listen to this video. I hope the acoustics wasn't too bad once again. Maybe when I get some furniture in here, well, I'm pretty sure when I get some furniture in here, it won't be as bad. But thank y'all so much. I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I can't wait to talk to y'all in the next video.